Hey, welcome in to another episode of Around the Campus podcast. Today we got Jerry Williams with a G-G-E-R-R-Y, Jerry Williams. And you were in last week, right? Doing a podcast with Kevin Reese, who is actually out now starting a book deal. I think it's his sixth book or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, and you were doing an interview with him, and you learned about my podcast, which is Around the Campus podcast. And you said, you know what? I want to be on that. Got to be. So tell us a little bit about yourself, how it all started with you here at CSB.
It all started, well, first of all, I'm from the West Coast, Oakland, California. Yay Dubs, Golden State Warriors, grew up around those guys. But I moved out here 20 years ago and found out about the Connecticut School of Broadcasting. If I'm remember correctly, the oldest broadcasting school in the world.
Yeah, in the nation.
And I moved
that we know of.
and I moved and I discovered it and I'm like, I got to go check this place out.
Yeah.
And so I did a tour and because
now, when did you tour? 2005, 2006?
Well, 2006, and I started right away. You know?
And you were in our old facility.
Facility.
What do you think of the new facilities?
I love the new facility. Like this podcasting station, we didn't have this stuff back then in 2006.
Well, you got to keep growing and expanding with the technology and the times.
You're evolving well.
Yes.
So I love the new campus. I love the fact that the Connecticut School of Broadcasting, CSB, is still doing its thing. It's hands-on, it's quick, and you get right to the point, And that's what drew me to the Connecticut School of Broadcasting.
Yeah, so all right, so you go through the tour, you think, all right, this should be a good place for me. You come to the school. What did you think of the instruction when you were here?
Well, first of all, what grabbed me was the conductor, if you will, of the tour, Hank Tenney. Tenny. He had long hair back then. He reminded me of Dr. Smith. If any of you guys know about Dr. Smith in Lost in Space, remember that guy?
Right.
He had a hairstyle like that. He does it now. It's short now. But anyway, he had a group of us. I don't know. It must have been about 20 of us. And he did this amazing thing. First of all, he's this like incredible personality. He's just large and he's colorful, and he's radio, he's media, he's television, everything all in one.
Right.
And he went around the room and got everybody's name, and then like 30 minutes later, he can go and tell you your name. He had total recall. It was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Jerry, John, Carol. And 30 minutes to an hour ago, he got everybody's names. How many people can do that?
I can't do it.
So that was impressive, but he really embodied media.
Right.
And he really drew you in and thought and gave you the impression you need to be here and we can help you fulfill your dreams.
Right. So you go through the tour, you've seen the likeness of Hank and how he can remember everybody's name. Now you're in the class.
I'm in the class.
Yeah, so you're in the class. How was the class experience? How were the instructors? Was it what you thought or remembered? I know it's 2006. It's a long time ago.
Yes.
But is it what you remember when you were, or what you thought it was going to be back then?
It was, because first of all, I come in with a lot of excitement.
Yeah.
So I'm really anticipating learning and being next to fellow students and learning together. And it was just like I envisioned it would be. We're having fun, we're learning, we're growing together. And the thing about it is that after class, I didn't want to leave. Right. I was one of those guys that hung out all the time.
Well, that's good. And that's what it takes. We try and emphasize that when people come in for a studio tour. And it's the most, I think, one of the most important ingredients to your success after the program.
Yeah.
So
I was one of those guys that I would hang out, and then on days when we're not in school, I would always sign up for some time in the studio just to practice. So I was like a studio junkie.
Right. Yeah.
and I'm still coming back.
I know. You were here the other day with Kevin doing a pod, or you're recording for your radio station, which we're going to get to in a second.
Yeah.
All right. So you're going through and everything. So was it as easy as you thought it would be, or harder than you thought it would be, learning all the equipment, the software, everything else that you were kind of going through here at the school?
My main thing was to just stay focused. If you come across something hard, just stay focused and just take your time and learn. Learning was fun. When I did come across something that was difficult, which wasn't many at all, mainly and most of the time, things just came naturally for me because I was in my wheelhouse.
Right.
I had a natural, talent, because it all started with me back in the 80s, back in California. I told you I'm from California. At Chabot College. I did a 2-year program at Chabot College, and they were known for having a great 2-year radio, television, mass communication program. And I started there. Mm-hmm. And I stayed in the studios all the time here. I started doing that back then. And so when I came here, it was just like picking up where I left off.
Right.
So it was kind of easy. It was fun, and I didn't experience too much difficulty. And I graduated, and I felt good about that. Got my certificate, and after I graduated in 2006, in 2007, I had a job.
Yeah.
The very next year.
All right. So let's talk about that. So you graduate the program. What kind of work did it take? What do you remember it took to get your demos done, your resumes done, and start, hitting the pavement, so to speak, to go look for the job?
Yeah, going back to Kevin Reese, the guy that I interviewed about a week ago, right here in this room, he was instrumental in helping to put my resume together.
Yeah.
and demos and things of that nature, because I did that was all new to me, so I needed help in with those type of things. And job placement, you had
it was job, yeah.
What do you call it? You had information about job opportunities.
Yeah.
Were out there. So I perused those. Kevin and others helped put together my resume and my demos and told me the do's and the don'ts and how long a demo should be. It can't be too long. Keep it 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah.
You don't want to put together no 7, 8, 9-minute demo. You want to keep it short and tight and everything like that. So they helped me with those type of things. And like I said, I graduated in 2006. 2007, I had a part-time job working overnights, just 2 shifts every other Saturday night a month. And then within a year, about a little over a year, then that became full-time. And I'm in my 15th year as a weekday morning host. And it all started right here at the Connecticut School of Broadcasting, CSB here in Farmington. I call this the mothership campus.
The mothership campus, which is kind of cool. It's, people aren't probably going to watch these in any kind of particular order, but we actually have a gentleman who's on in our Palm Beach campus that's kind of be coming on the program to do it next. So Richie's going to be coming on. So if you watch these podcasts, you'll probably see Richie come on, and he's actually in our Florida campus, not the mothership campus, but the Florida ship campus. Which is kind of nice too, because in the winter it's always good to go to Florida.
Listen, just to hear you say Palm Beach, just
right.
How cool does that sound? It's like I want to go visit that place.
And what's kind of cool about it today is that with the world of Airbnb and everything else, we are getting students that are traveling in from other locations, and they can take the course because we don't have dormitories and things like that, but people actually have set up shop at an Airbnb, taken the class, and then gone back to their prospective place. And we have online, job search type things that you kind of went through, and they can work remotely looking for opportunities in their particular area. So it's really kind of cool the way everything's kind of changed. You've talked about the way, being in this podcast studio, and we didn't have it back then, and kind of evolved with the times. But even the job placement side of things have evolved.
Job placement was cool.
So we got a little bit off track there. So you're now working 15 years now. What's the radio station? Because it's kind of a niche station for people. There's a definite following for those people, and people are probably, if they're from Connecticut watching you and they listen to your station, they're probably saying, I've heard this voice before. Where have I heard this voice before?
104.9 FM WIHS, your station for hope and encouragement. WIHS stands for We're in His Service. Been 50 plus years, 100% listener supported. I like to call it food for the soul. I am the weekday morning host, 4:30 a.m. to 9. My clock goes off weekday mornings at 2:45 a.m. and I got another alarm that go off 15 minutes later at 3 and another one at 3:15 in case I don't get up.
That's the way I do it when I go and I travel, and I'm waiting to get on a plane or something like that. But you do that every day.
All that to be at work between 4 and 4:30, which is good because you're before traffic, and I get off early enough that I'm after traffic, traveling from Hartford to Middletown. That's where we're located, in Middletown, Connecticut. But it's been a blast. It's been a great run. I'm looking to segue and go into television now. Got some television ideas. I'm currently in the process of I'm endeavoring to put together a 30-minute what do you call it?
Pilot?
Pilot. There you go. It's early. I've been up for a long time. 30-minute pilot to shop that around. And so that's a whole nother, excitement level for me. Just like I was excited about getting into radio. Now I'm excited about the future. Yeah. Because I got these ideas. And so now I'm like, here I go again, at the beginning, all this young excitement. So, but 15 years. And it's been a great run. And what's amazing is that the things that come out of just being on radio, like you start being asked to go on to MC events, speaking engagements, all kinds of things. You meet all kinds of great people. I'm the out and about. We have 3 people that do interviews at our station. Yeah, and the other 2. Primarily do interviews within the station by phone, or someone comes in and does an interview in pre-recorded in the studio. But I'm the out and about guy. I'm the boots on the ground guy. I'm the guy that travels. Yeah. I've done interviews as far as California to upstate New York, and that my little recorder has been on the plane. It's been through many states, and I come and I dump the audio and I do the editing and I put it together. We have a thing called the WIHS Journal. It's news and public affairs, and I'm the boots on the ground guy. I was just in East Hampton not too long ago for an event. I'm at the Capitol in Hartford covering political events. I'm all over the place doing all kind. I'm at the Bristol Green, the Southington Green, and I'll be up in New Hampshire next month at Soul Fest. So that's always a blast. And I take my recorder when I drop my kids off at camp, at Word of Life Camp up there near Lake Placid. I take my recorder to interview some of the kids that are, what was your experience like? Would you come again? Would you recommend it to somebody else? What did you take out of it that you could take home and apply it to your life? That sort of parents. How much did it cost you? So I'm that guy, I like to get, everybody has a story. I like to get the story. Life is made of stories. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So you're kind of in your niche, and you kind of came out here to try and rediscover yourself, and I think you've done that, from California to Connecticut. I remember the stories along the way and everything else like that. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I could nutshell that. I came, and the reason why a lot of people, as soon as I tell them I'm from California, I'm like, what in the world brought you out here, man? Right. Usually it's either a woman or employment, Or if you're a woman, it's a man or employment or something like that. But I came out here because I got caught up in some things back there. My little testimony is that I was caught up in some things that I shouldn't have been caught up in. I needed to get out of my own town and come out here and just get away from it all, And then I discovered the Connecticut School of Broadcasting. I'm like, wow, I can pick up where I left off, because, the things I got caught up in, I told you I started at Chabot College. Mm-hmm. And so I had actually got my foot in the door because I originally thought I was getting into radio to be a smooth jazz radio host.
Yeah. Well, you got a voice for that too.
At 102.9 FM, soft and warm, the quiet storm, KBLX, Berkeley, San Francisco, Oakland. Wow. And so I got into school to go work for that station and actually got my foot in the door, paid internship. And then, just to be honest with you, crack hit in the 80s, and I got caught up in that. And so my life started spiraling out of control. And so I finally, got out of Oakland and moved clear across country and just to get a new start. And when I discovered the Connecticut School of Broadcasting, after being clean for years, I was like, I could pick up where I left off in pursuing my dream in radio broadcasting.
Well,
and I did.
Congratulations.
And that's
for that.
what the Connecticut School I had no idea about what I was going to run into when I came to Connecticut. Connecticut, coming far west as California, might as well move to a foreign country.
Right.
I didn't know anything about Connecticut. I just knew I wanted to get out of Oakland.
Fresh start,
and not knowing that I'd be moving to a state that contained the oldest broadcasting school
in the nation.
If not the world.
Yeah.
And so I was like, wow, okay, let me go check this out. And then I did, and bada bing, bada boom, went through the classes. And here's another thing, too. I moved out here to get a fresh start, and I was with someone, and we end up I was going through a divorce. And so I was going through the Connecticut School of Broadcasting during a difficult time in my life. And so it helped me get through. I didn't go off on the deep end and start using drugs or alcohol.
Yeah.
I just applied myself in this school right here, and I lived here. It was like therapy too.
Yeah.
So I just put my time and energy in here, and I came through with flying colors. And I'm forever grateful for what the Connecticut School of Broadcasting did for me.
That's awesome. So now in closing, because I have this other gentleman waiting to come on. So in closing, somebody's walking down the street. They say, hey, how did you get into radio? What would you say about the school, and what would you give them as far as advice for the school?
The school is great. You don't have to. What's really appealing, you want to check out the Connecticut School. You say you want to get into broadcasting? Check this out. I know a place for you, because you're talking to someone who had the same dreams and aspirations. The Connecticut School of Broadcasting is the place for you, because how old are you? Okay, you're 40. You don't want to start college and go through 4, 6, 5 years of schooling. Connecticut School of Broadcasting can have you working in your dream job in just a year or less, or a little more, just like I did. I went through the Connecticut School of Broadcasting. That's how I know. I started in 2006. It's hands-on. They get right to the point. You go and you touch the equipment. You have industry people teaching you, and you learn from them, and they have job placement. They help you once you graduate. In job placement, help you with your demos. And the cool thing about it, you can always come back. You can always come. The studio is always, even after your graduation, you can always come back and utilize the studios. You can come back and take refresher courses. The Connecticut School of Broadcasting, I recommend to you, young man. What's your name? Carl. Okay, Carl. Go check him out. Monday through Friday. Give him a call. Set up a tour date. Go see the campus. I recommend you check out the Connecticut School of Broadcasting. Start there. It helped me out. 15 years that I've been radio broadcasting, and it can happen for you too.
All right. Very good. Well, hey, thank you so much for stopping by, and look forward to seeing how you grow with your pilot and everything else that you got planned in the future.
Thank you, Jim. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for having a tired Jerry Williams. I've been up a long time. I was like,
the alarm clock went off at 2, 3, 4, and 5.
But here's the thing. I'm still working on. The thing is getting to sleep at an early enough time so you'll have enough rest, and that's what I'm working on.
Well, let's see. It's 11:14 right now, so you can boogie on home and get all the sleep you need.
Sometimes I sound like I've been drinking, just slurring my words, but thanks, Jim. God bless you, man.
All right. Thanks a lot.